Hi everyone, welcome to the Glowtips channel. In this video, I'll be sharing with you an easy PolyNail gel infill tutorial that is perfect for you beginners. This tutorial will help you to achieve long-lasting salon quality nails at home. So let's get started. An infill/refill nail refers to the process of filling in the growth between the cuticle and the previously applied gel. We do this to extend the longevity of our nails without the need to fully remove the product. An infill should be done every 2 to 3 weeks depending on how fast the nails grow. So now let's go over some of the products we'll need for this infill process. Today we'll be using the Glowtips PolyNail Gel Starter Kit, which includes all of the following products. We get a 100 to 180 grit hand file, some straight edge dual forms, and some curved ones too. You can also customize the kit with 2 PolyNail gel shades of your choice. You also get a polygel brush with a brush on one end and a spatula on the other. You also get some Glowtips lip solution and also a top and base coat. For this video, we will also be needing the Glowtips 180 grit buffer, a cuticle pusher to push back the cuticles, and also some alcohol wipes to remove the dust. You will also need a gel shade to match your fill, and don't forget to use a dust brush to remove the dust. I'm also using the Glowtips nail lamp, which has a 10, 30, 60, and 99 second low heat timer. So now that we have all our tools, let's get straight into the video. We're gonna use our cuticle pusher to push back our cuticles. Make sure you're using a very light hand when doing this, as you could easily hurt yourself or your client. Make sure that you're pushing the cuticles back at a 45 degrees angle, as this will help to stop the lifting. Nail prepping is a crucial part of any nail process. When pushing back the cuticles, you will see a white layer forming. This means there is dead skin and it needs to be removed. This is very important, as this will lead to a long-lasting manicure which you can enjoy for weeks. After the cuticles have been pushed back, it is important to remove the dead skin. If you're a beginner and struggle with cutting your cuticles, you can skip this step. However, I would suggest to buff them just to ensure that any of that dead skin has been removed. If you're more confident using nail nippers, then definitely use this to cut away the dead skin, which could cause lifting. When cutting the cuticles, make sure that you're using a very light hand. Aim to cut away any white areas, as this suggests dead skin. Don't cut any areas that are sensitive or have any cuts or wounds on them, as this could cause an infection or even further bleeding. If you have very sensitive skin or cuticles, it is best to use a nail buffer, as this is a lot more gentle and safer. Don't forget to use this time to remove any hangnails that might be around the nail. This is really important, as we want a nice and clean finish. Next, you want to remove the shiny layer off the nail surface. Be sure to hold your file like so to get the most control from your filing. This is a 100 to 180 grit file, and you can use whatever side you are most comfortable with. Be careful to only file the gel, as you do not want to hit the natural nail. If you have any gel polish on your nail, it is important to remove this as well. The aim is to have a shine-free or matte surface for our PolyNail gel to go onto. When filing the gel, do not overfile, as you do not want to create super thin nails. The aim of this process is only to create a fill for a nice balanced nail. At this point, it is also important to check the nails for any lifting. These will appear as white areas under the nail, and you may need to look closely if the nail is not a natural color. In this case, there was no lifting, therefore I was able to complete my filing and reshape my nail. However, if you have lifting, it is super important that you use the right tools to remove these parts. It is best to remove lifting using a coarse hand file, such as a 100 grit hand file, as we do not want to trap any of the lifted areas after our fill. Remove the dust using the dust brush to be able to check for these lifted areas. Sometimes when filing, we are unable to see the lifted areas properly due to so much nail dust. Don't be afraid to wipe away the dust as well with a lint-free wipe to be sure that there are no lifted areas. After you have checked for the lifted areas and removed them, don't forget to take this time to also shape your nail. This is a good time to change your nail shape and try something new, or just keep what you have and refine the shape. In this video, we are keeping the nail shape the same and making it a slightly more pointed almond shape. Now remove the dust one final time using the dust brush. Also take this time to check for lifted areas one more time. The lifted areas should appear as white near the cuticle area, but this is what the nails should look like if there is no lifting. Now we'll be using the 100 grit side of the hand file to reshape the nail. This nail will be more of a pointed almond shape, so I'm just focusing on the tip of the nail. And don't forget to compare the nails against each other to make sure that the shape is nice and even for every single nail. Now just remove the dust again and wipe them down with some alcohol. This is important as we do not want any dust on our nails, and we definitely need our nail plate to be dehydrated. This is because we're going to be applying some base coat in order for the gel products to stick. So taking the Glowtips base coat, apply a very nice thin layer only to the natural nails. Also be sure to bring that base coat down a little bit onto the PolyNail gel, as this is going to be an important step to creating our fill. This is important as we will need to blend the gel down to the already existing gel. This finger did have a little cut on it, so we need to be really careful and make sure that the base coat does not touch this area. After the base coat is applied, make sure that you cure the nails for 60 seconds, and just know that it is normal for a tacky layer to be left on the nails after this. Now using the Glowtips lip solution and gel, we're going to start by creating our fill. So taking our poly gel in shade Nude Pink, we're going to start by placing a pea-sized amount of gel onto the center of the nail. You want to dip your brush in the lip solution and gently pat the gel around. Make sure to keep the sidewalls thin whilst pushing the gel up towards the cuticle. The amount of gel that you will need will depend on how much your nails have grown out. Usually you need a pea-sized amount, however you might need more if your nails has grown a lot. As you become more experienced, you will learn how much product you will need to apply on each nail for your fill. It is super important to use a very light hand when pushing the gel to the cuticles and sidewalls. If you use too much pressure, there is a risk of the gel making contact with the skin. Because of this, it is really important that we leave a tiny margin from the cuticle area to the gel product. This will ensure that the cuticle area is nice and sealed and will reduce any chances of lifting. When patting the product, you want most of the gel to be in the center of the nail. This will allow for the correct structure to be built, as the apex will be nice and thick. However, if you apply too much gel, continue to do your fill as usual and remove the excess product after the cuticle, sidewalls and apex has been built. This will allow for the right amount of product to be on the nail without making it too thick. Now you can use the spatula end of your PolyNail gel brush and mark off exactly how much polygel you want to remove. This is the best way to do this, as you will avoid making contact with the skin and it will be quick and easy to remove. Once you've removed the extra product, use your brush to blend the PolyNail gel downwards. And once you're happy with your nail fill, it is important to soak the nail brush into the slip solution to help smoothen the application of the gel. Once again, you want to take a pea-sized amount of the gel and place it at the center of the nails. Then use your brush to gently push the gel outwards towards the cuticle area and sidewalls, keeping those areas nice and thin. Make sure to keep a small margin between the natural nail and the gel in order to reduce the chances of lifting from any oils that grow from the nails. Also, if you find that your brush is getting sticky, don't forget to dip it in the slip solution and clean it off on some paper towels to ensure there is no gel residue left on the brush. This will allow for a nice and smooth application without too much hassle. After the nail fill is done, don't forget to dip your brush one last time in the slip solution to clean up around the nail. Sometimes the gel residue can stick onto the skin, which will lead to lifting. This is only visible after a couple days of wearing the nails, so make sure that you clean around the cuticle area and the sidewalls really good before you do your 60-second cure. On this nail, we are demonstrating what happens if you apply not enough gel. So in this case, blend the poly gel down and make sure to cure it for 60 seconds. Make sure that the sidewalls and the cuticle area are both nice and thin before you cure. After your first cure, go in with a second bead of polygel and try to build your apex area. As you can see from the first layer of polygel, there is no apex and this nail does not have the correct structure. Now we're going to add another layer of polygel, and this time we're going to focus on building the structure of the nail. This means keeping most of the product at the center of the nail whilst keeping the sidewalls thin. When using this Glowtips gel, you can do an infill to all 5 of your nails at once and cure them simultaneously. This is the beauty of polygel, which actually makes it a lot more user-friendly. And unlike acrylic, it gets dry really quick within a few seconds. Now we need to wipe away the sticky layer and prepare our nails for filing and buffing. Since the Glowtips gel is soft, you can use a 180 grit hand file to shape and buff the nails. This is really important as we want our cuticle area to be nice and thin and seamless. You can also use this time to reshape the nails further by using the 100 grit side of the file. The 100 grit side of the file will help you to shape the nails a lot faster. However, if you're happy with the shape of your nails, then don't worry about this step and just skip it. Focus on filing that cuticle area nice and thin. Make sure you're filing your sidewalls nice and straight to reduce any lifting. And also don't forget to remove any gel on your skin using the hand file or the buffer. Once you are happy with the shaping of your nails, we want to grab our Glowtips 180 grit buffer to buff the nails. This is a really important step as the nail buffer ensures that any nail file scratches are removed. This will allow for a very seamless top coat application or gel polish design. The grit of this buffer is very fine, therefore it would allow for a nice, smooth and even finish. Just before you remove the dust, make sure to check the nails from different angles to ensure that the shape and length is the same for each nail. Now we're going to brush away the dust using the dust brush and also wipe the nails down with a lint-free wipe and some alcohol. Now you can leave your nails as they are or you can apply top coat. But in this video, we're going to be using the Glowtips metallic gel paint to create some quick nail art. We're going to do some classic French tips using this beautiful metallic gel paint, and we're going to demonstrate this on one finger. This gel paint has a stunning mirror-like finish and is a new addition to the Glowtips gel collection. You want to use a nice and fine liner brush to create the lines and then just fill in the tip once you have your outline of your French tip. So here is what some of the nails look like already. This gel paint is really beautiful and easy to work with. If you want to try out any of the products mentioned in this video, don't forget to check out the description box down below. Now it's time to finish off the nail design with some top coat. Just go ahead and apply your Glowtips top coat and do a nice thin layer of this. Then don't forget to cure this in your light for about 60 seconds. Once the nails are cured, we're going to be decorating them using some nail crystals. Here we're just using some flat back AB crystals and we're just going to place these randomly on the nails. Now taking the new Glowtips 3D Crystal Nail Gel, we're going to use this to create these small bubbles on the nails. This is a really easy gel to use. It's pretty much a solid nail gel and you can use any sort of tool to cut it up into pieces. We're then going to use our fingers to roll these up in a ball and basically just place them on the nail. This is a really nice and quick way to do some 3D nail art for your new nails. Now to seal in these bubbles and give them a glossy look, we're just going to top coat them by adding a blob of top coat on top of these. This topped off the nail set and gave the 3D bubbles a more 3D look. Now don't forget to cure the nails for a final 60 seconds before applying some cuticle oils to the cuticle area. We're also just going to massage this oil in really good to nourish the cuticles. And that's it for this PolyNail gel infill tutorial. I hope you found this video helpful and informative, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more nail related content. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching!